Young people in Nazi Germany. Aims: to turn young people into Nazis. As Hitler stated, whoever has the youth has the future. 1. Boys to be brought up as future soldiers. 2. Girls to be brought up as submissive wives and mothers. 3. To control all three of the greatest influences on young Germans, their families, schools, and youth movements. School. The Nazis used school to indoctrinate young people into becoming unthinking, obedient National Socialists. Schools also promoted anti-Semitic beliefs. Each classroom displayed a swastika and a portrait of Hitler. Teachers were expected to join the NSLB, the National Socialist Teachers League, to maintain their job. Curriculum was changed to incorporate National Socialist ideas. Anti-Semitic methods were used to teach racial stereotypes, and Jewish teachers were fired. Methods. 1. Curriculum. They controlled what was taught to indoctrinate children Nazi ideas and beliefs. The Nazi curriculum stressed the importance of subjects like PE, history, biology, and geography, which were adopted to reflect Nazi beliefs. The new eugenics taught corrupted Nazi beliefs such as racial superiority. RE was phased out, and all teachers had to be approved by the government. Boys followed a different curriculum to girls. 2. Teachers. By 1939, 97% of the teachers were the members of the NSLB, the National Socialist Teachers League. If they did not cooperate with the regime, they were sacked, as were Jewish teachers. After 1933, teachers were encouraged to attend training camps to help them teach Nazi beliefs. 2/3 of the membership was sent to these courses. 3. Classrooms. Each room had a Nazi swastika and a portrait of Hitler. Pupils were taught to use the new German greeting, Hail Hitler. 4. Selection in specialist schools. Special schools were run by the SS to teach future leaders of Germany. 4.1. Adolf Hitler schools took on boys identified as potential future political leaders, where they would be given a military-style education. 4.2. Napolas, a special elite school for the future military leaders. Many would become SS leaders. 4.3. Order castles, elite schools singled out pupils for future political leadership in the Third Reich. Outside school. Youth movements had been popular in Germany for a long time. They involved hiking, singing, folk songs, camping, and sport. Most groups were either political or religious. The Nazi formed the Hitler Youth Organization in 1926. 1935. Young people encouraged to join Hitler Youth. Over 60% were members, and other political youth organizations were shut down. 1936. Almost impossible not to join the Hitler Youth. 1939. Membership was compulsory. This was a weakness, as Hitler had to force membership. There were different groups for boys and girls. Boys had young German folk for ages 10 to 14 and Hitler Youth for ages 14 to 18. Girls had young girls for ages 10 to 14 and League of German Maidens, the BDM, for ages 14 to 18. Boys were highly politicized and militarized. They took part in marching and activities like gliding and shooting. Girls were concentrating on the family and Aryan beauty and health. It was much more focused on indoctrination. Hitler Youth. It was led by von Schirach. They aimed to indoctrinate young boys in Nazi ideology outside of schools. They put an emphasis on PE and outdoor skills, aiming to create a militarized youth ready to fight in a future war. They wore uniforms and took part in hiking trips, mass rallies, and they learned skills like shooting, gliding, and teamwork. Hitler Youth was undoubtedly popular, offering new opportunities, and was vital to the war effort. League of German Maidens, BDM. They shared some aspects of Hitler Youth, such as teamwork and physical education and hiking. However, it was tailored to Nazi ideology on the role of women. They were taught home skills, childcare, first aid, and rationing skills. From 17, they had the Faith and Beauty Organization, which helped girls prepare for marriage. Up to 2 million girls joined the BDM. It was not compulsory until 1939, but of course official pressure was brought on to Bern for not attending. Youth opposition. Youth organizations were popular with young people. However, that is not to say all youth were indoctrinated. Youth organizations played an important role of opposition to the Nazis. There was increasing disillusion with the Hitler Youth by the end of the 1930s. 10% managed to avoid compulsory membership. Some young people avoided joining the Hitler Youth and set up their own rival groups, the Edwall's Pirates and the Swing Youth. These groups engaged in activities to annoy the Nazi regime. Edwall's Pirates, a mildly left-wing going communist group that was to be the opposite of Hitler Youth. They deeply opposed the Nazi regime and set out to undermine it in various ways. 1. It would disrupt Hitler Youth meetings and beat up members. 2. It would write anti-Nazi graffiti. 3. It would have regular meetings and aim their own hikes and sporting activities. 4. They helped Allied airmen escape to neutral countries or helped Jews in hiding. A large number of members were caught and hanged in 1944 in Cologne for this. Other groups, the Navajos and Roving Dudes, played a similar role. Sophie and Hans Scholl, White Rose. Munich students aimed to create an anti-Nazi movement amongst students in Munich. Hans was in the German army and was appalled at the racial violence he witnessed in Poland. 1. They had a small cell group of 3 or 4 and printed anti-Nazi leaflets which they left around Munich University. 2. Unfortunately, they were discovered in 1943 and guillotined after a short trial. Swing types. 1. They were young and wealthy people who were determined to listen to the so-called degenerate music in groups. This included jazz, which was banned by the Nazis as it's degenerate due to its African-American origins. 2. They would often grow their hair long in defiance of Nazi ideals. The Nazis often closed down their bars.